It's conference speaking proposal time, and if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering what you can do to write a speaking proposal that conference organizers would be giddy to put on their program. Well, I've been reviewing speaking proposals for years now, and the bad news is there's no magic formula that'll guarantee you get picked every single time. That said, I got good news. Whether you're a long-time presenter or this is your very first time proposing, helping your proposals stand out from the crowd is really as simple as just considering these 7 factors. The first thing is consider your conference's audience. I can't tell you how many times I've read a really interesting proposal and thought to myself, great idea, wrong conference. Even if your concept is fantastic, the exact same proposal isn't going to be a fit for every single event. So it's smart to make sure your session idea targets the actual needs of this specific conference's attendees. Sometimes you just need to tweak your description just a little bit so that you can, make it perfect for another audience. But if your session is, say, all about classroom training and you're submitting it to a conference all about e-learning, the hard truth is that's probably going to be a really quick no from conference organizers. If your concept doesn't really match the focus of a particular conference, you're better off hanging on to it for another event and then brainstorming some good ideas for this one. Next, you want to consider the conference's size. That's because the number of attendees and sessions is often a really interesting hint about how niche you can go with your topic. Is it a smaller event with just a handful of sessions on the program? Well, chances are those conference organizers are going to be looking for proposals that appeal to the majority of their attendees. So lean towards broader angles on your topic for those kinds of events. Now, is it a massive conference with maybe a huge number of session slots? They've got enough people to have space for more niche topics. In fact, a more niche idea might help your proposal stand out there. Speaking of your session ideas, you also want to consider what's unique about your take on your topic. Because unless you're going really niche, chances are other people are going to submit proposals on the same general topic that you are. So going with a generic take will probably get your proposal passed over. Instead, think about a unique angle that you can provide. A basic intro to microlearning session, well, there's a lot of that out there. But what about, what mobile games can teach people about getting started with microlearning? Or maybe a case study on microlearning design tips based around a recent project that you created. There is so much opportunity for putting your special stamp on a topic. Now, if you're thinking about odds, you want to consider how popular your topic is at the moment. That latest trend that pretty much everyone is talking about on LinkedIn right now, chances are a lot of people will be submitting proposals on it. That's not to say that you can't submit on that topic too. But if you do, getting that unique angle on it is going to be critical for helping it stand out. Another tactic, though, is to come up with a proposal on an important topic that you care a lot about that you don't see covered much at conferences. There are actually loads of topics that conference organizers would love to get more proposals on. So maybe something you've got an experience in falls into one of those much-needed buckets. Once you've picked your topic, you then want to consider how much you're writing. Because I have seen so many conference proposals where people just write a line or two to describe their session idea. And that's just not enough for conference organizers to know what would happen in your session and what's different about your idea versus all the other proposals they're reading. So how much should you write? Well, a lot of proposal forms will include a maximum word count. That is not to say that you have to hit that exact number, don't worry. But if the maximum word count is, say, 200 and you've just got 20 words, chances are you need to add in some more details. Are you worried about writing too much? Well, don't be. As long as I think the session content can be covered in the time that people have, I have never once said no to a proposal because I thought it was too long. Now, while you're filling out that proposal form, also consider what details you're including in it. Because another common reason that proposals get turned down is they don't give conference organizers enough information about what the whole session will cover. People sometimes treat their proposals like a good movie trailer. There's just enough info to get you intrigued, but not enough to spoil any key plot points. The problem is, those key plot points, they're going to be what conference organizers need to understand the full scope of your session idea. And they're going to help your submission stand out if there are lots of proposals in the mix on topics that are similar to yours. So think of this more like a business proposal, where every key detail counts towards selling someone on your idea. Finally, if you want to increase your odds, consider submitting more than one proposal. That's because most conferences will let you submit more than one. So if you've got a few good ideas, particularly if they're fairly different from each other, why not let conference organizers know? That way, if your first proposal happens to have a lot of overlap with other proposals, you've still got another submission or two in the mix. Now, figuring out this whole session proposal thing can feel like a bit of a mystery sometimes. But considering these 7 factors can do a lot to help strengthen what you submit and give your proposals a better shot at getting accepted. So good luck. You got this.